Hi Michelle, sorry it took so long to get this video together. I've been running around like a crazy person. So what I have here is just a little flower that I've quickly drawn. This is cherry, and behind it I have walnut. I'm gonna do this petal first because I have arranged it behind this petal and this petal visually. You kind of can't really tell, it doesn't really matter. I have the grain of the walnut oriented like this behind it, as you can see. I have that taped on. And remember, to do my starter hole, I can do a starter hole in any of these other petals or the center because it's gonna get cut away later. The other thing I'm gonna do before I cut my starter hole is when I cut this first petal, I'm gonna overcut it into sections that I know I'm gonna cut away later. So I'm gonna draw that little dotted line there that shows where I am safe to cut. I'm actually gonna start my starter hole just anywhere along that dotted line. And I'm gonna get this going right here. Okay, now that I got the starter hole done, I thread the saw. I have the saw with it clamped in here, only on this side, with the teeth up and pointed towards me as I hold it like this. I'm gonna unclamp this side so it's free here, pushing it against my table, and I'm threading it into that hole from the back with the teeth pointed in the direction that I want to cut. Now that may be clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on how you like it. And I'm just gonna cut this out, remembering to keep my teeth pointed straight, and I'm feeding that packet into my saw, not turning my saw at all. Okay, there I'm done with my first cut, and the cherry part I can take away. Now, what I'll do before I move anything is I'm just gonna untape everything up here, okay? Because I am now ready to reposition everything. I'm gonna take this cherry off and the walnut out, and you can see there's my walnut petal. I'm gonna check the fit. That fit looks pretty good to me. So what I'll do now is take this, and I'm just gonna spread a little bit of Elmer's glue. Undo the cap. A little bit more. I spread this on the edge of the piece. I don't get too crazy about it. And then press it in, and it's pretty much ready to go to the next piece. So what I'll do is on this side, you can see that this petal right here is on top of the petal I just cut, but also behind this petal. So this is a perfect candidate to cut next. So what I'll do is I'll reestablish the border of that petal that goes over the one I just cut. Now you can do this by going back to your pattern and using the carbon paper, or like I said, it's just a petal, so I'm just gonna cut whatever I want, and you can see there that I've established that line. Now, this section here on the petal, sorry, I'll get closer. This section here and this section here are still sections that you can overcut because they're still in sections that you're not gonna have to keep later. So here, I'll draw a dotted line there. So on this piece that I'm gonna cut next, I'm gonna cut along the cut line here perfectly, still along the cut line perfectly over that walnut. And then once I get to here, I'm on the dotted line and I can do whatever I want because that's over the center and this petal here that are gonna go later. So what I'll do now is go back to this piece of walnut that I had, right? Position it onto where the next petal is, the one that I just sketched out there, and tape that down. And then, like I said, probably a million times in class, it's the same exact thing. I'm gonna start my starter hole on the dotted line section. Whoop! Get that pin vise in my hand. Start my starter hole in a dotted line section so that I don't have to worry about lining up with it perfectly on the way back. Thread my saw just the same, teeth pointed in the direction of the cut. And here I go. Okay, I finished the cut. You can do that, press it down and the pieces will fall right there. Then undo the packet. That cherry, as you can see, has a little bit of that walnut on there. Okay, and that's perfectly fine to do right away. You saw how much time I waited. And now I can put that walnut piece in there. That one's a little tight, but it'll be okay. I can glue that in and just keep going. It's the same thing going forward. So I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, just hit me back. I'll make another video.